What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and it is time for a brand new video talking today about some news and notes from Daniel Farke's press conference today. And of course, being Leeds United, it's been quiet. It's been very quiet. And sometimes they say no news is good news. But we got some news and it isn't so good. And it does mean that we need to reevaluate a lot of things in terms of the squad. And it's crazy how one injury to one key player means that we definitely, in my opinion, have to dip into the market. There's no ifs, there's no buts, there's no this guy can play here or there. Go and get this player. Go and get a player. But listen, we're going to get into that. Guys, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your comments below. I'm also going to do the Sheffield Wednesday preview in this as well. And we'll do score predictions and, also. Oh, man, what's going on? Direct in the house, how do KG? I'm good, man. Listen, as a Leeds fan, in terms of players going out, it's been great. There's been no major upheaval with the squad, which I didn't anticipate anyway, because unlike last year, in terms of the squad where we had Somerville, we had Jorginho, we thought, oh, I can see some Premier League teams going after them. In this squad, it's a more rounded squad, but for me, there's no players in the team that I go, I bet you this Premier League team's going to come after them or whatsoever. So I've been very relaxed, and I've said that all along. But the latest injury news on Pascal Struijk does shed light on it as well. Nigel in the house. So afternoon KGCB urgently required now. Absolutely. Mike in the house. More importantly, Fab suggesting Sesko may make a January move. Yeah, Mike. With that one, it was talk about a loan, but his agent has come out and said there's absolutely no chance that Benjamin makes a loan move. So Mike, keep hope alive. Yeah, keep hope alive. I'm also going to speak about another player that I've said will be linked within the 2030s. So we'll get into that. But in our immediate future, we need to speak about this one. The press conference today, I'll be real with you, there wasn't too much else that you wanted to, harp on about. This is the main news because it affects us now and, for me, the future, especially if Leeds United and the 49ers don't act, and they need to act. This isn't up for debate for me. We've had debates on here, and you guys are giving me suggestions before. We need a fullback, we need a 10, we need an attacker. For me, I've said goalkeeper is the most important, and now this news makes the goalkeeper even more in the spotlight, because a big part of the reason why we've suppressed so many shots is the defensive unit, and the defensive unit has been a big part of Struijk and Rodon together. Well, as Graham Smith said here, Leeds United have been here before with Pascal Struijk, a sudden and potentially nasty surprise, as Daniel Farke put it. There's a couple of things for me with this. It's the last game against Harrogate. I said at the time I was surprised to see Pascal in here because there was a doubt about him with his hamstring. And I thought, okay, so maybe this is just like a match practice. They're using it as like a preseason friendly almost to get him back up to speed. But if they've underlying issues with Pascal and that there could have been a setback, it has to go again. Why did he play? Why? There was literally zero need for Pascal Struijk to play against Harrogate Town. Sorry. Fourth from bottom at League Two, we could have put in DeBayo there, and I'm sure we would have still won 3-0 or whatever we won. I can't even remember the score. But why? This is a pattern with Daniel Farke. As he says, he's in charge of all the decisions. He'll listen to the medical team and he'll listen to the player, but ultimately he needs to make a decision. So why did he play against Harrogate Town? If there was any kind of aggravation for it, would it have hurt him just to sit out another game? I don't think so. But look, we're dealing with this again. Listen, on this one here, Patrick has his progress with rehab, will miss January. I got to say here, I don't care. I don't care. So forget that news. Joel Peru is back in team training. All other players came through well. Shades of Rudders versus Agrington. Oh, yeah, the Rodrigo thing. Yeah, we can't rely on Max to fill in. Amps will get moved. Yeah, and listen, I see people in terms of the chat saying Verber at centre-back, and I'd agree with you people, but he literally said in the press conference, and we've seen it already, Max Verber couldn't even play against Harrogate because of his fitness issues, his knee. So we're having to manage Max Verber's fitness, which is why also I don't think he'll be going anywhere this month. I don't think a team is going to take him on if he's got these underlying issues with his knee. I just don't. And listen, I'm not going to go on about it, but we've seen this before with Pascal. We've seen it recently with Junior Firpo. We saw it last season with Jorginho, literally coming back from a hernia surgery to play the next game. Yeah, it's just not for me. It's just not good practice. But yeah, in terms of this, we got here. It is. Let me see here. Struik's Struik's plan B. Which is the first one? Okay, yeah. Here it is. Okay, Struik's plan B. The best idea is that he's back available ASAP. We had many clean sheets with him, attacking and defending set pieces. This is the line I can't. I'm sick of hearing as well. And again, this isn't bashing Farke, but I do hate this phrase. We will stay awake until the end of the window. Well, we've been asleep for all of it. Okay, we've been asleep for all of it, and that's through our choice. I say our choice, but his choice, and just oblivious to a lot of other things. But listen, if there is business that can improve us, and the second topic is a big injury to a key player, well, yeah, that's it. It is a big injury to a key player because we don't know how long he's going to be out for. We've heard this before with Pascal. Oh, he's only going to be out for a couple of weeks. That's what we heard literally just in his latest injury. Came back for the Harrogate game. Now he's out for 3 weeks. So Omar Barmadeli is a name that we've been long linked with. If we can get a loan in on the on that front, that would be great. That would be great in order to get him in the door. And knowing Pascal's fitness, we will have to manage that. So Omar Barmadeli coming down now, it's a completely different coat of paint. Before, when I said with Omar Barmadeli coming, why would he come when he's going to be back up to Pascal and Joe Rodon? Well, if he comes down now, he's going to get some football. That's for sure. You know, so for me, Leeds United with this we should be hearing about something today, like literally today. But we know we won't. We won't hear anything today in terms of player movement. It's not going to happen. But they've had this news maybe for a couple of days. They should have moved already, you know. And and other people as well. I hear people saying about Tom Cannon going to somewhere else. I'll just say this on Tom Cannon. I don't care. Tom Cannon is no one I'm worried about. Yes, he may improve whichever club he's going to, and it's heavily rumored Sheffield United or Sunderland are going to win his signature. But if they started the season with Tom Cannon, I'm not looking at their squad going, man, that Tom Cannon's there. No, I'm not bothered about that. I'm not bothered that he's going to cost 10 million more for those two clubs. I'm worried about what we're doing here because I've said all along the squad, and I said it in the last video, the squad is more than good enough. But if you're taking out a key component, that's where you need to add. You've got to. And a big part of it is our defensive work. And Pascal is big on that, especially going forward on set pieces. Michael here saying, journos, I could hear the frustration in their voices. They knew they were getting corporate responses signed off by Angus. Yeah, listen, again, and as well, I'm not going to pick on Farke for that. He's employed by the company. He's employed by Leeds United. He's not going to go too off script. He's not going to throw anyone under the bus, even if he doesn't feel he's been backed. But at the same time, don't come out and say you're being backed. You can say it without saying those words. But listen, I understand. But the proof will be in the pudding. It will be in the pudding come the end of this window. But I don't even want to see it on the end of this window. I want to see it in the next couple of days. I need to see movement coming in on the defensive front because I still think, even with all the fullback options fit, we're having to manage every single one of them, bar Jayden Bogle. He's the only one. Matt here saying Ben Davis might be better than left back cover 2 speaks well. Speaks Welsh. Matt, that's a brilliant suggestion. Ben Davis. I just don't know if Tottenham are going to be ready to let him go. And also with that as well, Matt, have to keep in mind with Ben Davis, and I spoke about this when he was linked with us a couple of weeks ago. He's injured now with a hamstring issue, and he had a setback at the end of December. So do we want to bring in a reinforcement that we're also going to have to manage? Why can't we just make it easier? You know what I mean? Make it easy on ourselves. Get someone fit and firing. They can just slot in and we can get cooking. That would be the best thing for me. What's going on, Arinda? What are you saying? Thank you for the super chat. Finally caught a live one. I saw Pascal last week at Waitrose. I told him I loved him. Salute to you, man. And listen, I'm sure you got starstruck. Listen, when I met Shawn Michaels, I thought I had a whole speech in my head about Shawn Michaels. All I got to him when he signed my book was, thanks, man. That's all I got. I got starstruck. It happens to everyone, all right? Happens to everyone. Matt here saying, Melier questions seem to be banned too at the presser. Thou shalt not speak. With that, Matt, he's made his stance clear. And that's what I'll say on that. When you've heard the manager basically say that this is your guy, this is your number one, it doesn't do any of the journalists this week any good to go back over it again. Yes, Darlow had a clean sheet in the last game. Is he in consideration? Daniel Farke would just say, I made myself clear. And from a journalist point of view, and I'm just looking at it from their point of view, they may feel like he might come back frosty, may not let him back in. That does happen, as we know in these things. James is saying good morning, but bad news. Good afternoon, James. Yeah, it is bad news for me. This is huge, and I need to just make it clear as to why it's so big, because it means at this current time, before we bring in somebody in, which we better be doing, we're going to have to now do the whole Ampadu Roden thing again. And it will work. It will work for a period of time. But as we saw, the proof it's already happened, people. It fell apart towards the end of the season. Now, that's not to say it's going to happen again. Of course, it might happen again. And plus, now we've got Rothwell in there. We've got Tanaka. We've got Gilavogi if needed to. But why risk it? That's the thing I would say. Why risk it? Go and get another centre back. This is promotion on the line. This is promotion on the line, people. This is the future of the football club. You can invest now, or you don't invest and lose out on 200 plus million and all the other business deals that you can line up in the Premier League that will take you way past that figure, especially at a club like Leeds United. What do you want to do, 49ers? It's up to you, and it's up to Daniel Farke. Bob here saying Ben Davis is on 100,000 a week at Spurs. That's great for him, Bob, but we wouldn't be paying all of that. If we were to get a deal done, he's out of contract as well. Let's just say we were to get a deal done, it wouldn't be on 100K a week. Okay, it would be on reduced money. Maybe he gets a bit of a better signing on fee to make up for the lack of wages. There's ways of doing deals, but let's just, there it is. Ryan here, no excuses, KG, no excuses. Absolutely none. Sorry, there's none. None at all. But we've said this before, Ryan. But the thing is, with these kind of decisions, the club may think that they've got enough. Oh yeah, we can put Ampadu back there, Gilavogi back there. All it does, if it doesn't work, is it hurts us as fans. The ones that I speak, not all of us, because I know some of you are just happy that Leeds United exists as a club. You wouldn't care if they're in League Two or non-league, got you. But for the ones that want this club back in the Premier League, it hurts us if it doesn't work. And then all of a sudden, everything around us in terms of if Sheffield United get Tom Cannon and he scores 4 goals from now until the end of the season, see, if Sheffield United hadn't got Tom Cannon, then they wouldn't have gone up and everything else like that. And if we had done this and that and so on and so forth, we don't want to do this again. We did this last season, people. Please. James here saying, is Ampadu a better choice at centre back than Verba? Not for me. No, I would absolutely put Verba as the next centre back in. That's what he's there for. He's our backup centre back. So with Struijk out, he comes in. But we've heard over and over again, and not just heard, people, we've seen it over and over again. He can't stay fit. Now, there isn't as much work for him to do at centre back as he does on the left, because obviously he has to get forward a lot more from the left-hand side. Maybe that would be a little bit better for him, because as well, we do have the ball a lot of the time. But that means it will be relying on Verba to keep that knee fit and hoping that he never gets an injury again the rest of the season. Who's confident of that? I'm not. Even though I believe in Verba's ability, more than believing it at this level, I don't believe he's going to stay fit from now till the rest of the season. I don't even think Junior Firpo is going to stay fit from now to the end of the season. Sam Byram's going to need his rest. So we need defensive reinforcements. And it's on the club to do so. Steve saying here, are you saying it fell apart last year because Roden and Ampadu were centre backs, or did I mishear you? Yeah, you misheard me, Steve, but that's not uncommon on this platform. That was part of the reason we should have moved Ampadu back into midfield, which we had the capabilities of doing with Charlie Creswell there. We should have rested Jorginho Rutter when he came back from hernia surgery. Gilhart was there. He could have easily slotted in that attacking midfield role. There's a lot of things we could have done. We could have rotated the squad a little better to keep Somerville and everyone else fresh, which we didn't do. We could have utilized our subs better than the last 10 minutes of a lot of games. There's a whole host of things we could have done, Melier being a problem as well. So yeah, it's not just that, but seeing as I have to spell it out, there you go. Isaac here saying they can't use FFP excuse anymore. Absolutely not. We're well in the clear with that. We've got no issues. Now, of course, what I've said before, we do have a high wage bill. That can't be disputed. So that's why I say when people are saying, oh, look at them adding Enzo Lefebvre, Sunderland adding Enzo Lefebvre, Sheffield United about to add Tom Cannon, that's because their wage bill isn't anywhere near as. So we still have to be mindful of that just in case it doesn't go right this season. And please, with everything, touch wood and everything else, that doesn't happen. But we do have to be mindful of that. The wage bill is sky high. So that is something that they do have to consider. But with Joe Gelhardt going out, that's taken a little bit off, I guess. But we do need to make sure that we can add something in without hurting the books. And I wouldn't tell them to go over and above. I don't think we can do it like Leicester have done. They've got away with it again. And listen, you know what? Fair play to them. They've wriggled the system and it's worked for them at this point in time. But I don't think we'd be so lucky. All right. I don't think Leeds United will be that lucky in terms of that. We could have played look, direct and everyone else. There's so many reasons why we didn't go up last season. Connor Roberts wasn't utilized properly, etc., etc., etc. Mike here saying, surely we can find a Premier League quality centre back on loan who's not getting minutes. Yeah, Omar Barmadeli's one, Mike, but he's not the only one. There's a few players out there that easily could slot into the team. But as we know, in terms of Danny Farke, it's got to be someone the manager fancies. It has to be that. And that's why people always link Ben Davies. It makes all the sense. His profile. First of all, he's from Tottenham. There we go, ding. He's Welsh. He's reliable, sturdy. And I still think Ben Davies is a good Premier League player. So, but I just don't know if Tottenham will let him go in light of all their injury issues at this point in time. What we're saying here. So yeah, people, the level of my concern, I said in the last video, I'm not panicked. I'm a little bit more worried now because also what this means is that the makeshift centre backs are going to have to protect Meslier like Struijk and Roden have. And if we don't get that protection with Meslier as our undisputed number one, we're going to be in a bit more trouble. We are. So it's vital that we get this position shored up. James here saying Bamford and Solomon are on high wages. They're not the only two, James. They're not the only two. Just saying that. The wage bill is very, very, very high. So for the championship anyway, in the position we're in, it's not just those two on big wages. Michael is saying quiet window. They're more focused on getting bodies out for loan or sales. And Michael, there'd be no problem with that, Michael, if they were bringing incomings in. There'd be no problem with that. I've already said with Joe Gelhardt, that's not a loss for us. And I think the whole manager said if the loan goes well and everything else aligns in the summer, they'll talk again. Hopefully they don't mean that it's going to be another loan. Hopefully it means there's going to be a permanent deal with that. So, Joe Gelhardt, he's looking to move away. The one thing I've said, though, is the body of Joe Gelhardt going out doesn't mean nothing to us. Patrick Bamford being out doesn't mean nothing to us. These are two bodies that are on the periphery of the first team squad. They don't play. Bamford's played 10 sub appearances. Joe Gelhardt's played 2. But the thing is, there could be other bodies played if we bring them in and Farke trusts them or believes in them a bit more. But yeah, let's have a look here. What are we saying here? Stephen here saying, agree Ben Davies could come in. Yeah, got to see what his injuries, though, like. We cannot. What I will say, though, with that is that if we bring him in and he's injured with the hamstring still, would that be pleasing anyone? I know it wouldn't please me. I believe in Ben Davies more than believing him at this level. I think he'd be a brilliant addition, but he can't be coming half injured. We've got enough of that, really. Yeah, Andy, exactly. 250 million reasons not to sleep on it. Absolutely, Andy. And more with this football club. We got 60 million from Red Bull being in the championship. Think about that. Think of the reach of Leeds United, that we got 60 million, the size of this football club. We're still bringing in 36,000 fans pretty much every game. Even the cup game had 35. This club is a gold mine. And the 49ers know that more than anyone. That's why they wanted to buy us when we were in the Prem. That's why they were ready and willing to buy us this summer. But unfortunately, we got relegated, renegotiate, get us at a cheaper price. But they know that they need to get this club back into the Premier League to get the real deals that they want to get done for this football club and the stadium expansion and everything. It's important to them. They can't sleep on this. So forget about staying asleep. We won't stay asleep for the window. Wake up now and get it done, please. Yeah, just want to be proven wrong. I know, listen, yeah, we do. We just want to be proven wrong. Yeah, listen, I still think that we can finish top 2, but with Struijk out and the goalkeeper being who he is, it does raise a few more question marks. We're leaving it to chance more than if we just took him out, even put Darlow in for now. And then get another centre back in, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. Of course I would. Yeah, Stephen. Yeah, but Andrea wanted another go, didn't he? He wanted to chance it again, and that's what he did. I was thinking the other day, people, and not to go long on this because I don't want to focus on too much past stuff when the future is really important. But I was thinking the other day with this, what Stephen's saying here, the next year where we're in the Prem, it should have looked so different. And then you got Rafinha there, like, oh man, listen, guys, who's coming in? You know, who's here? Wait, Forshaw, you're still here. Whoa, Bamford, you're still here. Where's all the strength from? Oh, we've brought in Dan James and Junior Firpo, Raf. Oh, okay. Barca, can you get that move sorted a little quicker? We did not deserve anything. And I saw our bench for one of the games, by the way. Woo, stinky. Lewis saying here, Leeds give me the heebie-jeebies, or however you spell it. Yeah, it was just so quiet, wasn't it? And then you get a bombshell like this. Of course I did, man. Of course I did. Just killing it. I talked about him the other day. Random guy here saying Pascal will be out more than 3 weeks and the club knows it. Yeah, and the thing is, once again, this will be history repeating. It's not out of the realm for random guy here to question it because we've seen it before with Pascal. We've literally recently heard he was going to only be out for a couple of weeks, and the injuries exasperated. But look, in terms of Farke on interest on his players, except for Jaffe, no one in my office, no one has been in his office to ask to leave, and we haven't rejected any offer. It doesn't mean there's no interest in the players. It just means there's been no formal offers been made, which kind of goes what I've said at the start of the stream. There's not many players on this team now where you think, damn, we're in danger of losing them. I can only think if a team had a defensive midfield crisis in the Premier League where they'd probably go, hey, what's Ethan Ampadu saying? Could we tempt Leeds United with an offer there? Apart from that, I think we're good with all our other players at this point in time. Obviously, the window gets crazy as we go nearer to the end of the window. And that's another thing as well, people. As we go nearer to the end of the window, especially when clubs know that you need a position filled, the prices go higher. Happens every time. So get the moves done before the 20th. Just get it done without any fuss and make it easy for yourself. Because listen, if we go to Forest near the end of the month, whereas we could have probably got a loan with no obligation, or the obligation being very minimal, they'll probably go, oh yeah, you need that, don't you? Okay, well, it's going to be a loan with obligation to buy. You're taking on 75% of his wages, and when you go up, we want 15 million instead of 10. And then you're at the mercy of that club. Now, you don't have to accept the deal. Of course you don't. But you make it harder for yourselves as you get nearer to the end of the window. So, guys, please, Leeds, for the future of the football club, get something done, please. I'm begging. I don't want to be in this league any longer, and this club can't afford to be in this league any longer. Not with the teams that are coming down, with the players that they've got. They've all got top championship players. That's what they are. Southampton, Ipswich, Leicester, they're all good championship clubs playing as Premier League clubs right now. When they come down, they'll lose a few, but they'll have a real strong core, stronger than what we'll be able to keep. We've got to go up this season. Has to be done. So, with that being said, Sheffield Wednesday, they're 4 points out of the playoffs, but I got to say that doesn't concern me. They're down in 10th place at the minute. They're 4 points out of the playoffs spot, but we are miles ahead in terms of points. We're a far superior team. The game is at Ellen Road. Danny Roll, I've seen all the, and they've got off the field turmoil as well. We've seen it with Chansiri, Danny Roll, all that mess there. This should be our game, Yorkshire Derby or not. It's important that we end this weekend on top. We may come down because we're playing Sunday. Burnley, Sunderland are tonight. That should be an interesting game. But by the end of the weekend, we need to be back top, set the precedent, and stay in the lead. That's what we need to do. And Direct in the house just saying have to go KG Wednesday game 2-1 to us. Shout out to you, Direct. With that being said, this is the team. I mean, there's no point. There's no point doing this, but I'm putting Darlow in goal. I'm not going to put Melee in goal. I know he's going to be in there, people. I'm not stupid, but I would go with the Welsh triangle at the back there. So for me, in light of Struik's news, it's Darlow, Bogle, Roden, Ampadu, Junior Firpo at left back. Tanaka, Rothwell in the midfield. I think that goes without saying now in light of the injury news until we get a reinforcement, and we better do. I'm not sponsored by Unibet, so ignore that. And then up front, I'm going with James on the right, Aronson in the 10, Solomon on the left, and Peru up front. Now he's fitting and fitting firing. I think it kind of at this point in time writes itself. If you guys have any other suggestions, anything else you would do, maybe you'd put Verber in there, but I don't think he's going to be fit, people. That's the only reason I haven't put him in. Then please put it in the comments. So at this point, people, what are we saying for Sunday's game? Score predictions. I don't think it's going to be a runaway game. I think it's going to be tightly contested. I do, but I think we should come out with enough to win the game. And like direct, I'm also going to go 2-1 to Leeds. Lang here, tremendous. So Ipswich and Manchester City will be automatically promoted in the EFL next season. Tremendous. Michael here, another good point. It's not just the teams going down, it's teams coming up like Wrexham and Birmingham. Great point, Michael. Absolutely on the money as well. Wrexham, we know, will invest big. They will have a little bit more of a cap that they can do at this level compared to what they're doing in League One. But we know Birmingham City already spent big on Jay Stansfield. By the way, it just tells you as well. Barbara, are you not listening? Never mind. I'm going to ignore that. I've already made myself clear. If you can't understand me, maybe we're not speaking the same language. It does tell you in terms of Jay Stansfield costing as much as he did, Tom Cannon costing 10, just how poor the striker market is at this point in time. There's strikers out there, people. I'm sure there's gems around the world that just need to be unearthed. But the striker market is a mess right now. Absolutely. Some people saying here 1-0. Chris is going 1-1. But nah, never wish my team to lose. Chris could never do that. Stephen saying 1-0. James is going for 2-3 leads. We're at home, aren't we? We are, right? Yeah, 3-2 to Leeds. Matt going 3-1. Annabelle going 2-0. Gavin also going 2-1. Always got to manifest, Lewis. You got to manifest everything, brother. You know, make thoughts become reality. That's what I believe. I do. Steve saying here, agree with your selection given injuries. Tough game, 1-1. Let's hope not, man. Let's hope not, but I understand. Random guy here saying, hope Harrison isn't coming back with Moyes now in charge. Again, don't know if there's a recall clause, and I'm sure somebody would have put in any news about a recall clause via the local media. Sure, someone's still in contact with Jack Harrison. He's been here since the Bielsa days. So I'm sure someone would have found out. But for now, he's an Everton player, and let's just leave it at that. Parrot House, shout out to you, Parrot House. How you doing, man? 3-1 to Leeds. And Yusuf going 3-2, and Mark B saying a 1-1 draw. So there's confidence, but not full confidence in the game on Sunday, and we've got to prove them wrong. And listen, for anyone in the UK, don't know if everyone knows, but it's not just on Sky. I think it's on Sky, but it's also on ITV, people. So if you're going to look for a dodgy stream, don't. It's on ITV if you've got ITV, so you can watch it live on TV. Chris here is saying, honestly, doesn't feel like my club anymore, KG. It feels like Farke's club that he's allowing us to be a part of. Yeah, I mean, interesting point. I mean, obviously, Chris and everyone else, we're going to be here way longer than any player, any manager will ever be. And that's why I always say to people, when you so staunchly defend certain players that don't deserve your defense, by the way, they're going to leave and they won't care. They won't care. They don't know you. And quite frankly, as well, I'm sorry to say, some of them don't even care about you. All right. But we're always going to be here. And that's why it's important that we look out for the football club more than anyone, because that's all we can do. Obviously, we don't put the money in, we don't make the signings, but we have to trust this guy to do his job, because he's not going anywhere, Chris. He's not, unfortunately. He's not, because I do feel there's a couple of things holding us back from being way clear at the top of the table, and his style of play, especially at home, is one. Yeah. Yeah, Stephen here saying no in reply to you, Chris, he won't be here next season. Well, we shall see. We shall see, won't we? Lang here saying no, Farke is managing the situation, not changing the culture, which is fine for the moment. Lewis saying here, don't appreciate Farke dissing the fans, raises my heart rate a little. Oh, Lewis, before I go, which bit is that? Is that, maybe I missed that, Lewis? Is that just when he's talking about fans being the emotional fan base, or, you know, saying that we you know, criticize everything when it's not going right, whatever it may be that he said in the past? Let me know, Lewis. If I don't stay on, just put it in the comments. But yeah, and Malcolm here, shout out to you, Malcolm, man. 2-1 Leeds. Just before we go, on a lighter note, because I've said this before, people, and I'm going to stick with it. even in light of the news today. You know what I mean? Just in light of the news today. But Erling Haaland assigned, oh, okay, Lewis saying all of the above. No problem, Lewis. Erling Haaland signed a 9.5 year deal at Man City, which ends in 2034. Now, I have him coming to us at 2033. There's even a break with him at 2029, which is saying, listen, if we do anything great between now and 2029, maybe he comes down. I don't know. But I still believe that when he's 32, 33, which I think this is when his contract expires, he comes to Leeds United. No worries. I do. I just got a feeling he's going to play for his his hometown club. I do. I've just got that feeling in my waters. I link it back to my father, Alfie, and I think it's going to happen, people. But yeah, there we are. Stephen here saying, yeah, he's very patronizing. Absolutely. He patronized us last season, big time. Stephen here, how long would you give Farke if we get in the Premier League? That's a conversation for the summer, Stephen. Conversation for the summer. Yeah, I know, Chris, but you know these clubs, they get around it, and don't they? They get around it. They did end. I thought they ended it with the Chelsea whole 8 year deals, but clearly not. Clearly not. Maybe it's a certain amount. Then they've got extensions on it. Who knows? Michael here saying Haaland will have him even in a simmer frame. Yeah, listen. Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, he's gonna come here and he's gonna bang goals for this football club. I'm certain of it, man. I'm certain of it. Let's go. Is there anything else I'm missing? No, there really isn't anything else. Teams around us are still trying to get their ducks in order, trying to strengthen their teams to, reach us and get up to our squad strength. But now we've got work to do in this window, and it's been very quiet. Listen, for me as a content creator, it's been not very good because usually you like to put out a video morning and night with a link or something credible, but there literally hasn't been anything credible to come back on. And I'm not going to just make stuff up and insult you guys. So, but hopefully now it will put our name back out there. Hopefully Leeds are doing the due diligence behind the scenes and getting some stuff done behind the scenes to get the squad strengthened so that we can get up to the Premier League where we should be. Ina in the house saying, I agree, KG Haaland will play for Leeds. Of course he will. Of course he will. Of course he will, man. Matt, tremendous. He'll battle Bamford up top, who will still be on the payroll in 2029. Scary thought, but you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, but hopefully not. And Lewis here just saying, love your integrity, KG role model. Not a role model, but I just can't just come on here and BS people. I just can't do that. It's to my detriment as well. I wish I could do it. I could just bang out video after video, but I can't do it, people. I've got to keep my integrity to a certain degree, of course. But listen, people, that is the preview. I'm sure we'll be back. I've already set the match reaction video already for the game on Sunday. So if you want to join me after the game so we can discuss the result and everything else, we'll do so. But I'm hoping to be back before then, people. I really am. I want us to be heavily involved with moves and everything else like that so we can get this squad strengthened where it should be. And people, that is it for today. So hopefully I'll see you before Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Peace out. Bob. All the best, KG. Still love it. I love you too, Bob, man. I saw that you might have been at the toilet. Salute to you. Peace out.